There we go. Hello, everyone. It's Phil, Discover Tai Chi for Limb Power. Welcome. And should we get started? I thought 8 strands of a brocade as a nice little flow to get us started. And then I was going to get us to do some silk reeling exercises from Chen Tai Chi. They can be done seated or standing, which is always good, and they can be as challenging or as easy as we like. So I'm going to start standing up. You know the rules. Seated or standing, look after yourself, move comfortably. Let me get in position. First movement, 2 hands hold the sky. So I'm going to do this as a little bit of a flow, not too much time with me talking away. So let's do 4 of these where we just bring the hands up, turn them over slowly, and press up. And then let the hands fall apart and down. And again, could be a breath in and a breath out. Excuse me. Here we go again. And one more time. Okay, as we drop the hands down, we're going straight into archer. If you stood up with me, and you can do so, bit of a wider stance. If you sat down, tall in your seat. I've got my right hand on the outside as I cross the hands. I'm looking to my left as I draw my imaginary bow. And then I release the arrow smoothly, watch it fly. And then I'm now looking to the right. Left hand on the outside draws the bow, push, smooth release, and away we go. Once again, looking to the left, drawing that bow smoothly. Let the arrow fly. And again, to the right, draw smoothly. Last time, to the left, draw, nice, smooth, even movement. And last time now to the right, draw that bow. Off it goes. Okay, so that was 2 movements. Let me join people who are seated for the next 2. Part the earth from the sky. So holding a ball. I've got my left hand on top. It really doesn't matter. It's the bottom hand we're interested in as it turns over. And we press up and down. Bring the hands back together. And now alternating hands as we go. Hands back together. Hold that ball momentarily. You can have this breath in if you wish, and then a breath out as we reach the top. And then breathe very comfortably as we bring the hands back. And again, press. We'll do this 2 more times. Nice smooth movement. And the last one. Hands together. Wise Owl. This is our rotation. Very simple. Turning to the right. Looking, lifting the hands and arms. And then slowly returning back to the center. Same on the left. And then slowly back. Right side again. Now to the left. Once more to the right. And finally to the left. Wonderful. Got a new little lanyard to suspend the mic from. Let me know how it works as we go through these movements. But that gets us halfway through. Going to stand back up for the next two movements. Just need to be a little bit more aware of these, seated or standing. Involves a bit of trunk movement, or even quite a bit of trunk movement. I'm going to get a bit of a wider base with my feet wider apart if you can. If you sat down, try to have a bit of a lean forward through the seat as we go. We're imagining that we're ducking under something like a rope or a barrier. Doesn't have to be too low though, it could be very shallow. Placing my hands on my hips, you may not have room to do that in your seat, but I'm looking and turning to the right. And then here's my little duck. Down. And then back up again. On the left side, and I recenter myself. And now I turn to the left. Down I go. Back up on the right side. Just like that. And then once again, turning to the right. Not too far underneath. And back up again. Big muscles being engaged as we move the trunk from one side to the other. Here I go back, left to right. And I'm going to go one more time, right to left. And then obviously back again. Okay, I'm going to imagine we've got a helium balloon. It's going to float off and we need to make sure that we catch it before it disappears high into the sky. So here comes that helium balloon. It's rising up. And just before it disappears from our grasp, we're able to bring our hands on top and bring that balloon down. If you sat down, you're going to bring the hands onto the sides of the thighs, hopefully. If you stood up, backs of the thighs. And then again, it's a hinge forward. If you sat down, the hands are traveling down the legs, just as they would be if we're standing up. Bringing the hands around the front, so it might be just the knees, and then we're coming back upright. Again, how far you go is entirely up to you. Once again, here's the helium balloon rising. Just before it goes out of our grasp, we bring it back down to earth again. Take a bow. Hands traveling down the legs, whether it's the back of the legs or the outsides, and then back up again. Once again, lots of big muscles being involved. Here we go again. Helium balloon, lifting upwards, overhead. Draw the hands down, bring that balloon back down. There's a little bit of resistance. Once again, take a bow, whether you're seated or standing. I'm going to get you to do this one more time. Here we go. Up with the balloon, overhead, down we bring it. One more bow. Hands traveling down the legs and back, up again. Okay, final two movements. We've got pull the rope, our familiar exercise. And we're going to start off with just 4 pulls, 2 with each arm, okay? Nice and light. So we're going to bring our hands into the sides. We're going to reach out with one hand and arm, take our rope and begin to draw our boat towards us. But we're only going to do 4 pulls. So it's not going to take us long. This is my penultimate pull. And this is my last pull to shore. Keep those hands in place. So that was a very light boat. Just go up in size, okay? I'll leave it to your imagination, but now reach out 4 more pulls, but now the boat is a bit bigger, a bit heavier, and it requires us to dig in a bit more, whether we're seated or standing, to get that boat moving. And then we've got to keep a smooth, even tension on the rope as we draw that boat towards us. Again, just 4 pulls. This is going to be my last pull of this particular little set. Okay, one more set. Up in size. I'll leave it up to you what size of boat you've got in mind. Obviously not too big and heavy. Reach out again, 4 more pulls, and now you've really got to dig in to draw that boat. See if you can really feel as if you are having to work to get that boat moving, and then draw it to shore. Here's my penultimate pull. And then last one. Lovely. Okay, I'm going to sit down. And I'm swapping a movement. Just because we can. Just to make life maybe a bit easier for people who are seated. We're going to do a push movement. We've been pulling, so it's nice to do a push. So we're going to push some waves, make some waves. We're going to do 5 on the right side and then 5 on the left side. If you are standing up and you can take a bit of a step towards the right, might even just be a little bit, that's good, or just stay square on. If you sat down with me and you can emphasize the right side, that might be the hip, it might be that you're able to push a leg forward, then have a go at that. And then I'm just picking my hands up, dropping them into our watery environment and pushing a wave out. Let's imagine we're in the Mediterranean, nice and warm. And we push the second wave out. If you wish, there's a nice breath in as we draw back and push once more. Two more pushes, I think. Here we go for the last push on this right side. So if you did have a bit of an emphasis on the right leg or right side, just kind of recenter yourself. I'm just going to turn a little bit to the left. I'm going to push my left leg forward. Again, same thing for you in your own way. And when you're ready, push our first wave off to the left. Second wave. Here's our third. And fourth. And now our final fifth wave. Just like so. So there you go. 8 strands of brocade. A little swap out of the movement at the end. Hope that's okay, but I think kind of works nicely for us. Okay, so I said we would practice a movement from Chen style Tai Chi called silk reeling. It can be a little bit challenging. It all depends on you and how you want to take it. But first of all, we're going to just shift our weight. Again, whether we're seated or standing. We've done this before in other contexts. If you're standing up, again, see if you can have a wider base of support. Just see if you can widen the stance with those feet of yours. If you sat down with me, we're going to be shifting weight from one hip to the other. My analogy is that we're rocking a boat. You're either stood in a boat or you're sat in a boat. A small enough boat for us to be able to rock to one side, either shifting the weight and then back to the other side. And we're in control. There's no danger of capsizing, because you can determine how much you rock the boat by shifting weight from one side to the other, be that standing up or sat down like me, shifting weight through the hips. The hips are rocking a bit, or in fact, they could be rocking quite a lot. Okay, come to rest, bring your boat to a rest. And now give me a wave. Let's have your right hand just here. Okay. A nice way to think about this is that we've got a window frame. Here's the top corner on the right hand side. And we can trace down to the bottom corner, still on the right side, all the way across the bottom to the left bottom corner, up to the top left. And then if we come across, we're back where we started in that top right corner. So that's what we're doing, is we're tracing that shape. Just imagine that we drop that hand down and then it sweeps across and then picks up. We turn the palm, it lifts up, gets to about shoulder height. We turn the palm outward and then we sweep it back to where we started. You might already have noticed that there's a bit of weight shift just as we shift the hand from one side to the other side. So if you want to now kind of begin to emphasize that weight shift as actually being the initiator of the movement. So the weight shift comes slightly before the hand starts moving. If you can get that, you're doing really well. So if we're sat down, we're shifting the weight from one hip to the other. And if you're standing up, you're shifting the weight. And it's as if we rock the boat. And as we do so, we trace this pattern with our hands, as if tracing the sides and the corners of a window. Okay. Kind of hoping we're in sync a little bit. I'm going to get you to come back to our top right corner. Recenter yourselves. Let that hand relax. I'm going to do the same with the left hand. Okay, same window frame, just different hand. We're going to drop that hand down, sweep it across now to the right along the bottom, pick the palm up, turn the palm outward, and then sweep it across the top back to where we started. And then we just keep that motion going, called silk reeling. from the original village of Chen Village in Henan, China, where pretty much everyone, scholars, historians, agree that Tai Chi can be traced as its origin. So we're just tracing those corners, shifting weight. I'm hoping that you've got the shift of weight going as well, like so. Silk reeling. We'll do one more to bring ourselves back to that top left corner and just have a little relax, just have a little shake. Okay. So that was the silk reeling exercise. When we bring both hands into play, we now have wave hands in clouds or cloud hands, Yung Shao, but in a Chen style Tai Chi. So, should we go back to the right hand side, top corner with the right hand? But the left hand sweeps underneath. It's in the bottom right, ready to lift up, so the palm is turned over. And the first movement is simply to swap hands up and down. I'm turning the left hand out, and then the hands sweep across to the left. Turn the right hand, up it lifts, drop the left hand, and then turn the right palm out, and then we sweep back. Weight shift if possible, lifting, left palm, dropping the right palm, turn that left palm out, and then sweep back to the left. Get the idea? Little shift of weight gets everything moving. If you can imagine that it's the weight shift, just as if we were in a boat, but as we rock it, it kind of gets everything going to that side. The hands follow. Rather than thinking about the hands leading, we shift weight and everything goes in that direction. I've almost got the image of a boat with lots of furniture going from one side to the other. That's it. Good job. So now we're doing wave hands in clouds, Chen style. So that's the original style of Tai Chi. Chen style, from the Chen family. Okay, we're going to go to one more side. I'm not going to say which because we may be a little bit out of sync, but it doesn't matter. Just finish on one more side and then just recenter everything. Kind of bring your boat back to a nice recentered and balanced place. So there we go. That's Chen style wave hands. It's a little bit different from Yang style or Sun style. And just to illustrate that, we're going to do Sun style in a similar vein. Okay, so in Sun style, we have a palm very clearly pushing forward and another palm clearly pushing downward. And they really don't do anything apart from that. And when we swap the hands, so if I come to my right side, all they do is exchange places like so. Boom. There's no turn of the hands. There's nothing clever going on. We just swap places and then we just slide them across to the left. And then we simply exchange places again. Boom. So the hands just stay flat. No rotation. There's a simple exchange from one side to the other. So I kind of feel this movement as kind of slightly abrupt, almost, as it goes from one side, swap the hands, and then back to the other side, swap the hands. So that's just to give you the experience of basically the same movement, wave hands in clouds, but now we're doing it in a sun style And that simply means that the hands are really doing very simple shapes compared to the Chen style. So once again, pick a side, finish on that side. I won't say which, it doesn't matter. And then come back to the center, rebalance that boat and bring things to a rest. But wave hands in clouds is this mother form, as they call it in China. Some Tai Chi teachers go so far as to say if you only practice one thing, then practice wave hands in clouds. It's kind of got all the elements of what we want in Tai Chi, all encapsulated within it. So you'll often see me in my garden out here on a morning just doing wave hands in clouds. I rarely do Tai Chi forms nowadays. I just might pick a sequence and just repeat it for a few goes just to explore the movement and kind of relax. So that might be something that you might like to do as well. Okay, so we've done 8 strands of brocade. We've looked at silk reeling exercises and wave hands. Let's kind of just begin to draw some threads together to bring things to a close. So let's do some more rotations. We're going to do cast your cares away, and then we're going to gaze at the moon, because if you didn't see it last night, you might get a chance tonight. We've got a really incredible full moon because it's very close to the earth. So let's take our right hand and we're casting off to the left, looking, and we're throwing an imaginary ball, or if you prefer, we're splashing in each respective direction. But we get this nice stretch through the shoulders and a turn of the neck as we do so. And we're just leading with the hand as if throwing a ball or splashing in water as we do so. So it acts as a nice prelude to our next movement. You can just move very easily with that one. Nice bit of rotation. I'm going to ask you to do one more on each side again. Not worrying whether we're in sync or not, but then finish there. So let's round things off by gazing at the moon. The moon is up above and it's a full moon, just like it was last night, and it's incredibly bright and close to the earth, so you've got a really good view. So we're going to sweep both hands up as we look up either to the right or even slightly behind us to look at the moon. So I'm sweeping. It's as if I gesture upwards and behind. And then I sweep the hands down and I do the same on the left. Up. And you get this twisting spiral of a movement. It's useful to just go nice and easy at first. And if you're standing up, just look after your balance. Just ease your way into that movement as we go. But if you feel confident and comfortable, seated or standing, and you could put a little bit more maybe into the movement just to emphasize that rotation if it feels okay to do so. Here we go. So I'm going to do one more on each side. Again, don't worry if we're on different sides. Finish with the last one. And then come back to the center. And then let's just finish with our closing movement by lifting the hands, the palms folding, letting the hands gently press down. Once again, lifting, folding, pressing. Final time. This time we're going to link thumbs, bring the hands together, let the hands settle on the lower abdomen, just below the navel. And then we're just doing our little familiar little breath awareness exercise. I don't even want to call it an exercise. It's just a moment really where we just settle, breathe maybe for 30, 60 seconds. Rest your eyes and just kind of rest, pause, catch your breath. Try and let everything just settle, which is something that we rarely get to do sometimes. And then we're parting the hands and bringing things to a close. So thank you for joining me. I hope that's been a useful session and got you moving. And I'm going to stop the recording. I'm here next week, so hopefully I'll see you again. Let me just do the recording.